friends, welcome back to Belle's Library. I'm Heather, and today we are going to do the Choose Your Own Adventure Readathon. So this readathon is so awesome sounding. I am like so excited to be getting into this one. It is going to be put on by Chelsea Zhao. I will put her announcement video down below for you guys, but she just did this really cool Star Trek theme for this one. Now you don't have to know anything about Star Trek to participate. If you guys, well, by the time you are watching this, it's gonna be over, but next time around, I think she's going to try and do this again, but maybe with a different theme, which would be really fun as well. And considering I know nothing about Star Trek, it's a good thing I don't need to know very much about it to kind of be involved, because this readathon just, it sounds so cool. So basically, what's happening is we're going to go on a little adventure mission type deal. So along the way, you end up doing 3 different challenges. And the first one, I can't remember. I think there's like, you have to pick what field you're going to go into, and then you pick like an alien you're going to encounter on your mission, and maybe somebody you're working with or something. I don't totally remember, but there's like 3 different things. We're going to like figure it out as we go, because we're going to read through this stuff. And basically each level you have 7 different options for each of those. And you choose one and it gives you a prompt, and then you're gonna read your book. So you have 3 different prompts throughout the readathon. So we're gonna try and read 3 books and complete our challenge, and it's gonna be super fun. And there's a Discord for it, and I believe she's doing some giveaways if you like finish the challenge and you finish your mission. And she has different outcomes for different missions, including like positive ones as well as negative outcomes. And also if you like try to skip ahead or different stuff like that, you have like, you can do it, but you have like certain punishments to do it that way or something like that. I don't know. Super fun. There's like over 300 different possibilities of avenues you can take through this whole thing, which, I mean, that's just crazy. So I am wildly impressed and so excited to get into this. So I have the Discord pulled up, which has basically how we're going to start our mission here. So we're just going to read through it. We're going to get our first prompt, and I'm going to figure out what I'm going to be reading first. Before we start reading though, click subscribe down below for me, and also check out my Instagram and Goodreads if you haven't done so far, so that we can chat books all day long, all the time. Okay, here we go. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. So how does this readathon work? This readathon is based on Choose Your Own Adventure books. That means that for the most authentic experience, you will not get your prompts until you make a choice. You should also not move forward until you have completed the prompt. Okay. So if you wish to cheat, you can. Basically, there's a button that says, do you want to see the cheat sheet? So I'm not going to cheat. We're just going to take this adventure and we're going to see where it goes. So no, I want to experience it as intended. First, let's go over some rules. In order to complete this readathon, you only need to complete 3 prompts. So this is kind of what I was saying earlier. So you have a division prompt, a crew member prompt, and an alien prompt. There you go. Okay. So doing this does not mean that you're going to get a good ending. There's at least 343 combinations of prompts and 21 different endings possible. Some choices you make will affect the end of your story. Some choices can have a penalty, like if you chose to cheat earlier. There's no backtracking during the story. Once you get a prompt, you need to complete it before moving forward. However, you can combine prompts. So if you've already read a book for your first prompt, then you can and it will also fit for your second prompt when you get there. You don't necessarily need to read a second book. You can have it kind of used for both of those. So that's good to know in case like the first book I take forever and I'm like, how am I going to finish 2 more books? But I really would like to try and finish 3 books for this thing. So there's 2 prizes up for grabs. You just fill out a Google form, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here we go. Welcome to Starfleet. The day has finally arrived. You have just graduated Starfleet Academy as an ensign after 4 years of training. You have always yearned to explore space and live amongst the stars, and now that dream is becoming a reality. Soon you are going to be assigned to a ship. First, can you tell me which division you will be joining? Okay, so the 7 divisions, we have command, science, medical, navigation, communication, operations, and security. So for me, like one of them is really just standing out instantly for me. I'm in nursing school, so I'm totally into the medical field and everything there. So I really am feeling drawn like I should go for medicine on this one. So we're gonna do that. Individuals who join the medical branch can be nurses or doctors. They will take care of everyone aboard the ship and must not be squeamish around blood and bodily fluids. Do you want to join the medical branch? Yes, get prompt. Okay, so my first prompt is to read a book with a red cover. That's pretty open. So I'm gonna take a look at my TBR from Belle's Bookland and see if any of my books will fit on here. I also have a couple like Buzzwordathon books and stuff like that. So let me see. Okay, I have the perfect book for this. Now, when you're looking at it, it's not like super, super red here, but under the dust jacket, it is more red. Gorgeousness. And it's like red here. So we have quite a chunk of red, I feel like, plus heartless and, you know, nursey, doctory, gotta be comfortable around blood. And then we're talking about the heart and oh my gosh, I just feel like it just fits. It's gonna work for this first prompt. It is a little bit long, not gonna lie, it's like 450 pages for a readathon that's only a week long. This is gonna be, I'm gonna have to like get going. But I do have obviously the physical book. I also have it on audio right now. So I do have double forms. So we're gonna try and get through the sucker as quickly as possible. And so yeah, here it is, Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Okay, I'll see you guys soon with an update. All right, guys, it's a little bit later. I had a bit of time to read and listen to the audiobook. So I physically read and I read with the audiobook so far, and I'm only on page 73. So I'm a little bit in there. And so I didn't really talk about what this book is about, but this is supposed to be an Alice in Wonderland retelling. It is a standalone, and it's by Marissa Meyer. So I find that actually her audiobooks I really enjoy listening to. They're pretty easy to follow along with and kind of fun to just go through some of the characters and their voices and stuff. And so I'm finding this to be very pleasant on audiobook as well as physically reading it. And I'm seeing some of the characters that obviously come along with Alice in Wonderland. We have like the Cheshire Cat and White Rabbit, and we mainly are following our main character, Lady Catherine, or Kath is what they call her often, and she really wants to open a bakery. She's really wonderful with baking treats, and she makes a lot of treats for the king, and her mom really wants her to marry the king, and she is in a position where the king just really enjoys her treats and is getting to know her, and he seems really interested, but she is not interested. She wants to open a bakery with one of her ladies' maids and have it be her main thing that she does. Like, she's not interested in the king. Basically, her and her family are going to this ball. It's like a black and white ball, but she doesn't know it's a black and white ball, and her mom makes her dress in this bright red dress that's just like stands out and is just loud, and she's like, oh my gosh, what did my mom do? And everybody's looking at her, and she's just like, I can't believe this. So during the ball though, the king has a new joker, and he does this show, and she's like, what is this? And she finds out that the king is going to propose that he wants to marry her, and so she like tells the Cheshire Cat, like, go make a distraction so I can get the heck out of here. And so she runs off, but she gets out of breath from being in this tight corset and runs into the Joker and passes out. And then she realizes that she dreamed about the Joker the night before, and it grew like a lemon tree in her bedroom. So there's definitely like some of that weird nonsensical stuff that goes along with Alice in Wonderland for sure, that you're just like, okay. But she's like, I don't want to marry the king. He doesn't make me feel things, but this Joker maybe is. So we're kind of following her plotline and her family, I guess, a little bit. And I'm not really sure exactly where this is supposed to go. But the kingdom did just get attacked also by a Jabberwocky, and they're supposed to be like mythical beast, and but you know, everybody just got attacked by one. So I don't know how that's gonna play in here. Like, maybe she's going after the Jabberwocky or something, but they're also, you know, calling her the Queen of Hearts because she's supposed to be maybe marrying the king. So maybe she like goes evil. I'm not really sure. I really don't know a ton about the concept behind this, besides it being an Alice in Wonderland retelling, and that's just kind of how it started. And I know that Kath wants to bake and that she's really into that. And I don't know, we'll see where this goes. Overall, I have enjoyed the Renegade series by Marissa Meyer quite a bit. And then also I've read Cinder in the Lunar Chronicles. I was going to say Lunar in the Cinder Chronicles. That doesn't make sense. So I still need to finish that series, but I did enjoy starting that one, and so I'm curious to see how this one goes. Plus, this book is just so beautiful, and I definitely needed to pull it off of my shelf and read it already, so that's what we're doing. But anyways, just wanted to give you that quick synopsis update as I'm starting to get into this one. I'll talk to you guys soon. Hey guys, so I don't know if I mentioned this before, but we started this Choose Your Own Adventure readathon on Monday, and it's going to go till Sunday. So we have a week to get through our 3 books and kind of move through it. So today's Wednesday, and last night I almost finished Heartless. Almost spilled the coffee. So this morning I just finished it off really quick, and I really enjoyed the story. It definitely has that fun, like, just nonsensical feeling that Alice in Wonderland brings, and something that I find that I'm enjoying a little bit in books. I like the kind of goofiness. Alice in Wonderland's not like my favorite Disney movie, but I think it does work really well in a book, and I just really enjoy kind of the I don't know, differentness of it, I guess. So I really liked those aspects of it. I enjoyed the characterization for the most part. I do feel like at the end there's a certain way that Catherine treats her best friend and lady's maid, Marianne, that she was planning on going into business with for her bakery, and they talk a lot about that throughout the book, and the way she treats her at the end, I just didn't appreciate or like or understand. Like, I just didn't really connect with that and why it went that direction. I don't know. It seemed a little drastic, but I know it needed to happen for the way that the plot needed to go. I didn't really believe it, I guess. It went a little too severe. So I think that's one of the only things I really was just like, I don't know. But overall, really enjoyed the story. It's a very interesting story following Catherine and her desire to not marry the king, and meeting the new court joker and wanting to open this bakery, but that's not appropriate for a woman of her status, and especially if the king's so interested in her. Like, that's all she should care about, right? Is the fact that the king wants to marry her. So anyways, it was fun, like taking some fun adventures through this magical world, and I enjoyed it, and I'm going to give it 4 stars. Now, moving on, let's go ahead and figure out what we're going to be reading next. Okay, just pulled up our adventure here. So next it says, once your book is finished, report to the ship. Today is your first day on a starship, and you're being assigned to the best in the fleet, the USS Enterprise. As you pull on your blue shirt, you feel excited to be joining this illustrious crew. I feel really excited. I'm like loving this whole concept. Oh my gosh, Chelsea did such a good job like building this and making this, like, oh man. Okay, by 0900 hours, you're at your station. Your supervisor, a lieutenant, walks you through today's tasks. When a page comes through, we're going to answer this page. It says, it's from the bridge. The Enterprise is currently in orbit around a Class M planet. The captain is putting together a ground crew for an away mission, and you're going to be joining it. Oh, I get to go down to the planet. Woohoo! Let's check it out. Who, me? Don't worry. In order to make you feel more comfortable going down to a mysterious planet on your first day, you can pick someone to join the team with you. You can choose from any of the senior officers aboard the ship. Each of them come with their own talents, so choose wisely. Who would you like to join your away team? So we have Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, Mr. McCoy. So Spock is the first officer, Dr. McCoy, sorry, is the chief medical officer. Scotty is the chief engineer. Uhura is the communications officer. Sulu, senior helmsman, and Chekhov, the navigator. Okay, so I feel like I probably already kind of went a medical route and I could continue with that for sure, but at the same time, I kind of want to mix it up. I don't know, if I like click on each of these, I think it does give me more details before I get the prompt. So let me kind of read some of these and see who I'm thinking I want to kind of go with. So if we do the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy. Dr. McCoy is the ship's Chief Medical Officer, doctor, and surgeon. He is one of the oldest crew members, excepting Scotty. He can be jaded, sarcastic, and hot-headed. However, if you ever end up in his care, you know you are in the best hands on the ship. Bonus, his nickname Bones comes from the term sawbones, which was used in 19th century American medicine because military doctors would often have to perform amputations. Do you want Dr. McCoy to join your away team? Okay, so we're going to go back and we're going to look at, I feel like let's go ahead and look at the communications officer because maybe we want someone who is going to be good at talking to everybody and communicating and making sure the team's all on the same page. So we have Nyota Uhura is quick and intelligent. She is well versed in multiple languages and is in charge of translations. So we may need some translating, right? You will often find her on the bridge where she is an expert in all ship systems relating to communications. Her first language is Swahili and her name roughly means Star Freedom. In 1968, the episode Plato's Stepchildren showed the first scripted interracial kiss between a black person, Uhura, and white person, Kirk, on American television. Oh, I kind of like that. Okay, let's just look at one more. Should we do like the navigator? Maybe the captain, Spock? I don't know. I don't know, guys. Decisions. Okay. I just kind of clicked somewhere. Okay, so we got Chekhov the navigator. Let's read about him and then we'll make a choice. So Pavel Chekhov is the youngest member of the senior officers. He didn't join the Enterprise crew until the second year of its 5-year mission. He is quite smart as he is able to fill in multiple departments, including but not limited to science and engineering. But he is also prone to hot-headed actions and romantic attachments. Would you like Chekhov to join your away team? Okay, I'm really feeling Uhura's communication vibes, and I want to see what this is going to be all about. So this is who I'm going to choose to go down to this planet with me. So let's go ahead and get our next prompt. So it says, read a book written by a black author. Oh my goodness, I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't even have to look. I was totally thinking this morning, I was like, I really, really hope that I get a prompt in which I can read The Cost of Knowing by Brittany Morris. And here it is. Oh my goodness, so excited. Okay, so The Cost of Knowing is by the same author that wrote Slay, which I read earlier this year and adored, and I just have been wanting to get to her next book that came out this year, and I am so excited. This is basically following this young kid, Alex, and for whatever reason, when he touches things, he can see their future. So he touches his car and he sees it down the road in an impound lot. And he touches his girlfriend and sees them breaking up in the future. One day he touches this photo and it gives him a vision of his brother's imminent death, and everything obviously changes for him, and he's very shook by this. So now it says, with Alex now in a race against time, death, and circumstances, he and Isaiah, his brother, must grapple with their past, their future, and what it means to be a young black man in America in the present. I'm so excited for this. Brittany Morris, she just writes these books that are just intriguing and interesting as far as the plot goes, but they also have so much more deeper meaning to them. And she just writes all these beautiful words in the most amazing way that just make you connect to it so much. And I'm so excited to read this, so excited. So that's what we're going to do next. And I'm hoping I can finish that one up in the next couple days, and then we'll be on to the next prompt, which I believe the last thing is we get to meet an alien of some kind, so that'll be really cool to look into. Anyways, I will talk to you guys soon when I have some more updates with that. Okay, so last night I started reading The Cost of Knowing, and I am about a third of the way into the book. was hoping to get a little bit farther, but it just didn't happen. What was going on last night? Oh, I took my daughter to gymnastics. I was like, I was doing something else with the family. So, but I'm enjoying it so far. I really love Brittany Morris's writing. That is something that I'm definitely realizing, and I feel like I'm gonna want to pick up all of her books. I just really, really like the way that she explains people and gives details to everything, and her character work is so wonderful, and her stories are dynamic, and they are just layered with so many things to think about, and just, yeah, it's really wonderful. So right now we are following these two brothers, and really, like, it seems like the story is really about our main character. You know, he can see the future, and he sees his brother dying in a few days, but ever since he's kind of got this gift and had what was going on with it, he's never been able to change any of the things that he sees. He just sees them and they're gonna happen. He's tried in the past and they always just happen anyways, no matter what he's trying to do to change it. So he's like, basically, I'm gonna try and make sure that I give my brother the next few days like the best that I can give him, and make sure that, you know, I have some time with him before he goes, kind of a thing. And he has no idea how it happens. He just sees like the grave and everything. And it's just like, I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be so heartbreaking, and it's just going to like be really emotional and impactful in like a million ways, I'm sure. But it's really, really wonderful to see like these brothers connecting, because in the beginning, like, he's talking about how his little brother like just is always so quiet and by himself and disconnected from everybody, but then he realizes that like he's the big brother and he wasn't around. He wasn't trying to make that relationship work. He wasn't trying to teach him things as the big brother, and that he had a part in that as well, and that they've just completely lost touch with each other, and they're starting to realize that they have things in common that they had no idea about, and that you know, they just have a lot of things that they can talk about, and they are talking about their grief over their parents who passed away. I think it's been like 6 years now, and so they are orphans. They live with their aunt, and they had a friend that also passed away I think a couple years after the parents did. It was a little bit later after. So yeah, there's just like a lot of talk about grief and how people handle that, and so many things that they're just kind of dealing with. But I really am appreciating that kind of brotherly bonding time, and them getting to know each other and just have some quality time together and think about what's important in their lives and what they should be doing right now more than anything, if, you know, they only have so much time together. So I am really appreciating all of that and just enjoying the storytelling, and it's just been really a beautiful book so far. So that's all I got for now, and I'm hoping to finish this up today, but I don't know if it's gonna happen, since I do have back to school tonight for my daughter, and then it just, yeah. 2/3 of a book is a good chunk of a book for me, so I don't know if I'm going to get fully through it. And I'm trying to get back in studying zone for nursing school next week. We've got like our first unit of information that I'm trying to wrap my head around, so that's also a thing right now. So I'm going to go back and keep studying, so that hopefully tonight I will be like, yes, I can just read because I did all my studying already. So I'll talk to you guys very soon. So I have one chapter left, and wow, that last chapter just demolished me. I was like heave crying. Yeah, this one's a good one, but I just wanted to say that if you have not read this book, it needs to be read. I will be back with more thoughts when I finish this chapter and we can get my next prompt. So yeah, that book broke me. It was so good. I I just can't imagine not buying every single one of Brittany Morris's books. Like, her first 2 books were just amazing. I like 5 stars, 100%. It can't be anything more. I feel humbled. I feel just like an awful person. I didn't do anything wrong, but I probably did at some point. I don't know. Anyways, I just, what a beautiful story. And you know what? Brittany Morris does this amazing thing where she tells such a wonderful story, and there are pieces to it that are just like part of a fictional plot line that are just great. And then this one, we have this wonderful brotherly bond that they've got going on, that they're trying to get to know each other a little bit more again after having had some losses in their life, and just finding out more about each other and just wanting to have some quality good time together. And then we also have this other side of the stories where she brings in such an impactful punch that just gets you and makes me realize how much I just can never understand how a young Black man can feel ever. Like, I'm never gonna get that. I'm never gonna understand that. And I don't know, it's just like, if I'm on the other side of this camera and you're hearing me talk about this, like, there's no words that I can ever say that can help explain or understand any of the feelings that anybody in this situation has had, and there's no way for me to speak to that and fully convey any of it. And I just, like, I don't know, just read the darn book, because Brittany Morris just is going to be able to just do this so much more justice than I ever can. Like, I don't know what else to say. It was amazing, incredible, awesome, wonderful. I adore her work. I love it. 5 stars. That's what it is, 5 stars, 100%. So yeah, let's get our next prompt and find out how we're finishing off our adventure. Okay, I've got my adventure pulled up. I'm going to put, once your book is finished, click here. Would you like to add anyone else to your team? Okay, so I guess if you want to have more than just the 3 books for your adventure, you can add more people. But I think we're going to move along right now, so I'm ready to go. Okay, your team is going to meet you in the transporter room. You don't want to be late, although you're not entirely sure there will be a consequence if you were. It is your first day after all, but you rush a bit as you walk down the corridor anyway, and end up being the first in the room. You hear the door slide open and look to see who has arrived. Uhura walks in, a bright smile upon her face. Her eyes find yours. Hello there, I'm glad we have a new face around. I also heard it's you I have to thank for me joining the away team. I don't get off the bridge often, but I love when I do. After the officers have gathered around you, you notice a few more people dressed in security and science uniforms. It appears they are going to be rounding out your party. Okay, so here we go. The whole team is here. The mission is simple. The landing party will be going down to the surface of the planet. Since it is a Class M planet, it is suitable for humanoid life and no extra suits are needed. Your goal is to observe and collect samples. Simple enough, right? Now get ready to beam down. You and your crew members walk onto the transportation pad. This is going to be your first time transporting. You try not to fidget as you make sure your feet are placed squarely in the center of the glowing circle. You hear one of the senior crew members speak from behind you. Ready? Energize. You feel a slight tingling sensation as small blinking lights fill your vision. 1 second you're looking at the transporter room, the next second you are standing in a grassy clearing on the planet. This is cool. I'm on a new planet. Look around. Looking around, you're amazed at how much a different planet outside of your solar system can remind you of Earth. To your left is a body of water. It's blue and looks so peaceful. To your right are trees. The leaves don't look like any that you've seen before, but they're green. You take in a deep breath. The air smells sweet after breathing in the recycled air from the Enterprise. There's just something about being planetside that you are excited about. Heck, yeah, I'm excited. Time to split up. Okay, enough dawdling. It's time to get to work. Before the science team divides up the jobs, the security team sets up a perimeter. You see them spread out around the group from the trees to the lake. Some of the science team are going to be using their tricorders to examine and record the flora of the planet. You make sure your tricorder is on and headed over toward the trees. You notice that others of the science team have also set their tricorders to search for nearby fauna. Another of the science team walk over to the lake. Could the water possibly have native animals in it? You noticed that the trees didn't quite look right when you first beamed down to the planet, but the differences are more noticeable when you're up close. The leaves are green, but the ones on the planet you are currently examining look like a mosaic. It appears that one big leaf is actually made up of smaller segments. Also, the tricorder says that the makeup of them is not one that you've seen before. You take a sample of the leaf for more in-depth study later. I'm curious. You also marvel at the fact that the leaf was hot to the touch. Interesting. Rustle, rustle. The rustle in the bushes behind the trees you're near is loud. The entire landing party freezes. Could this be intelligent life on the planet? I think so, because we're going to meet an alien. Investigate. Which alien do you see? So we have Gorn, Horta, Miri, Neural Parasite, Orion, Salt Vampire, and Tribble. Okay, I have to see what this Salt Vampire is, because, oh my gosh, that's a creepy guy. I don't know if you can see that, but, oh man! Okay. An interesting alien who is much more than meets the eye. They are also the last of their kind. Do you see a salt Do you see a salt vampire? Let's see what else we got. Just because I gotta look. Okay, so we got a Gorn. I don't watch Star Trek, so I'm like, I have no idea what these are. This guy is a reptilian-like race who are known for being great adversaries in battle. We've got Horta. Oh, that thing's ugly. I don't know if you can see these very well, but it looks like a rock. Is there more to it than what it appears to be? I kind of like that guy too. Miri. She appears to be a 12-year-old human girl, but is she? Do you see Miri? Next is Neural Parasite, a single-celled organism that is part of a hive mind. Okay. Orion, a race of green-skinned humanoid aliens. The female star in many a man's fantasy. There you go. There's our green alien, because we gotta have a green alien. And last, Tribble. Small, fluffy, cute, and it purrs. What else could you ask for? A full Tribble. That one's kind of cute, too. I don't know why, but the Horta, that kind of looks like a rock with, like, fungus or something growing on it, or whatever this thing is. I'm feeling the vibes, so we are going to go with this one. I don't know. I was kind of tempted by the cute little fluffy guy, and I also was kind of interested in the salt vampire, but we're going Horta. Yes, get prompt. Read a book with a non-human character. Oh, okay. What do I have that has a non-human character on my TBR? The next book that I was like, maybe I can get this one because it's on my Vale's book plan, is not going to work for this. So, give me a sec. I'm going to go take a look. We're going to figure out what I am reading. And I have to let the dog out. Okay, guys. I have the perfect book. Welcome to Night Vale. I wanted to use this one this month to read for the Buzzwordathon because its theme this month is like time of day, and then this says night in the title, so this one worked perfect, and it's gonna work great for this. So in this book, it's basically about Night Vale, which is like this desert community, and basically in this town, things like aliens and ghosts and, whoa. Oh my goodness, I can't hold on to this. So ghosts, aliens, angels, and government conspiracies are commonplace parts of everyday life. So I feel like that's perfect. Like, we met our alien. We're talking about some aliens in here and maybe some other things. We've got non-human characters. We're also following along with 2 different women in this town, and one of them, this like mysterious man, comes into the pawn shop that she owns and hands her this piece of paper, and it just says King City on it. But after he leaves, she can't get the note out of her hand, and she's trying to find out more about this guy, and everybody that has met him completely has forgotten anything about him, and it's just really weird. And then we're also following this other woman, and her teenage son is like a shapeshifter, and he's being a moody teenager, and she keeps seeing his dad, who like left them when he was a baby, all around town, but he looks exactly the same as he did like 15 years ago when he was a baby. And she's like, this is weird, and he's asking more about his dad, and somehow the 2 of these women's mysteries are going to collide, and it's around these 2 words, King City. I guess this was originally like a podcast, Welcome to Night Vale podcast, and so it's kind of based off of that and turned into a book. I don't know, it sounds fun. I think it's supposed to be kind of like funny as well, and I'm curious. Tammy! So yeah, here's our 3rd book so we can finish our adventure. I'm excited to get into this one, and it's Friday, so I have today, Saturday, and Sunday. So I have 3 days to finish this up, and we're going to be doing some sprints tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be able to get through some of this during that. And okay, it is Monday morning. I'm here to wrap everything up because the readathon is over, and I'm excited to see how my adventure is going to end, but we do need to chat a little bit. So we started the adventure by reading Heartless by Marissa Meyer, and I gave that one 4 stars. Then we moved into The Cost of Knowing by Brittany Morris, which was amazing and definitely a 5-star. And I just finished up last night Welcome to Night Vale by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Crainer. And this one, I wish I actually had more time to read this instead of trying to read it for a readathon so quickly, because I think just like taking this in smaller chunks every day would have been more enjoyable, because it's just like, it's so odd. The writing, this town, it's just weird. And I think it would have been more enjoyable to just like read a few chapters and just be like, okay, that was odd. Let's move along. But I think trying to read through it so fast made it to where I was just feeling like the plot was taking forever to get going. And I was just like, we're doing the same stuff, but not really getting anywhere because we're talking about all this other random stuff that we're going into different junctions about, like this woman that's lives in Diane's house that's invisible and they can't see, or like there's angels that live with old woman Josie, or, you know, we'd start like being off on all these different tangents. There's also like moments in here where we're listening to Cecil on the radio show and he's just telling us random news, and like, so there's a lot of really fun different elements in here that kind of make it a very unique and different story. I definitely think the podcast would probably be really enjoyable to listen to. I thought that several times going through here, because this is based off a podcast. I don't know if I said that. I haven't listened to the podcast, but I mean, it definitely makes me interested to know what was going on. So there definitely were elements to this that I found very fun and interesting and different. Josh and all his different shapes that he takes, just a lot of imaginative work goes into this. But again, the plot was very slow moving because we were doing all these other things, and so pushing myself through it, I was like, this is taking forever. So I landed at like a high 3 stars. When I put it through Compile, that's where we ended up at. So I think that comparably, like, this is probably like a low 4-star. This is like a high 3-star. They're kind of almost in the same area a little bit, but putting it through Compile, that's kind of how we ended up there. Definitely think Cost of Knowing was like the best out of all of these books for sure. I want to buy and own that one very soon. So now I'm gonna pull out the laptop and we're going to finish off the adventure and see how things end. I actually was on a live reading sprints for this readathon with Chelsea, who is the creator of this, and we did that on Saturday, so I'll put the link down below. It was over on her channel, but she was talking about like all the different endings and that some of them are good and some aren't, and it just got me like so curious and excited, and I just really want to find out what happens. So we're going to do that. So it says once your book is finished, click here. So we're going to continue and see how this ended up. I'm so excited. Okay. You slowly edge closer to the bushes. You hear the rustling getting louder. It sounds close to the ground. You pause when you get within striking distance of the bush. Out hops a small rabbit-like creature. It has 4 long ears sticking straight up and a prehensile tail similar to a primate. It sniffs the air a couple of times, looks you over, and hops off using its tail to move branches out of its way. As it leaves you, let out a breath you didn't know you were holding, and look through the bushes the way the animal had come. A dark cave sits in the shadow of the trees. You're pretty sure you would not have seen it. It is not for the alien Rabkey moving bushes and branches out of its way as it was coming towards you. Let's explore the cave. You tell the rest of the away team about the cave, and it is determined that a group of about half of the party will go into the tunnels. You will be leading the group. After the people divide themselves into who is going and who is staying, you all start to walk into the cave. There is a large tunnel at the back that you follow. You're quickly losing the light from the cave, and you pull out a flashlight. You notice others do the same as you travel further down. There are a few branching tunnels, but you all decide to follow the largest one, which is still winding through the mountain in the same direction. Is that a room up ahead? After what feels like almost an hour of walking in the one tunnel, it opens up into a large room. You don't think it looks much different from Earth caves, except for the hundreds of perfectly spherical stones, the purple pearlescent stones that are piled up throughout the room. You use your tricorder and discover their composition to be silicone. Interesting. You didn't see any large deposits of silicone up on the surface when you were taking your readings. You decide that a sphere should be beamed up to the ship for study. You know you won't be able to get a transporter signal down here. So you pick up a sphere and pass it off to a security team member, a man called Richards. Then you instruct them to carry it back toward the surface to be beamed up. After only a couple minutes, you hear a scream reverberate down the tunnel. It has to be the security officer. You run back towards where the security officer had gone, but when you get to the scene, no other creature can be found. In the middle of the floor happens to be what's left of Richards. Oh my. He is completely burned to a crisp. There's a big burned circle in the stone floor, and all that is left looks to be teeth and bone surrounded by ash. You take out your tricorder and take a reading of the spot. That's Richards, all right, you sigh. Still looking at your tricorder, you become confused. I have what appears to be a large deposit of silicone moving that way, you say, pointing to a tunnel off to the left. You didn't notice it when you came in. And you know silicone doesn't just move by itself. What should you do? Go into the new tunnel, of course. You set your tricorder to register for silicone and take it with you. You're going into the new tunnel to figure out exactly what is going on. You get close to the new tunnel and you see that it looks corroded on the edges. It's still warm, but not hot to the touch, and it makes you think that it had to have been made recently. But how? You follow the tunnel as it winds and bends. It doesn't appear to be organic, but you keep walking. Your tricorder tells you that the silicone object, and eventually yourself, is moving back in the direction of the room with the spheres. Trying to get back home. After just another minute or so, you see that the tunnel opens up into the room. In front of you is a big, shaggy creature. It looks like rock with red and orange fissures in it. It's moving, and a loud grating noise pulsates from its direction. We come in peace, you tell it, holding your palms in front of you to make yourself seem less threatening. This creature doesn't even have arms, so you're not too sure that body language is going to work for you. The grating noise gets louder, and you smell a burnt chemical smell in the air. The creature moves a bit to the right, and you can see words carved into the stone floor. No kill I. No, we don't want to kill you, you say. Well, as long as you don't kill us. The smell emanates from the creature again. Leave eggs here. The light bulb goes off in your head. The room you're in must be like a nursery, and these are her eggs. You don't know the whole picture, but you feel like it is best to let sleeping eggs lie and get everyone out of here. This alien was definitely here before you, and the Prime Directive encourages Starfleet to not interfere with other aliens and civilizations. You explain what is going on to the rest of the away team, and you all pack up and head back to the clearing to beam up. You have reached the end of your journey. The end. Ooh. Okay, so there it is. We met our alien. That is awesome and fun, and I just adore it, but poor Richards. But I had so much fun doing this readathon. I'm so glad I read all the books I read. I read like great books I'm super excited to have put into my brain. So I hope you guys really enjoyed, and if you stuck around this long and you want to tell me what books you read for this readathon if you did it. If you didn't, then how about some hearts down below for Heartless, and yeah, we will talk soon.